All right, so the next idea that we covered was finding slope, and there's two ways we can think about slope. So we're going to do them both here. And so the first way is just looking at the graph. And so slope, we always want to think about it as rise over run. So we're comparing how much we're going up or down. Remember, when we're going up or down, it's our y value that's changing. So we can think of that as our change in y. And then over the run, think about it, if you're running on the ground, you're going horizontally, you're not going up or down. So that's your change in your x value. That's how much difference you're going left or right. So you can think about that as our change in x. So let's just look at it graphically first, and then we'll look at the equation again for a second. So to get from here to here, and I can pick any 2 points on my line, and we'll do it twice so you can see that that's true. To get from there to there, I need to go up a certain amount. And in this case, I'm just going up 1. And then I'm going to go left a certain amount. And you can see I'm going left 2. Since it's left, I'm going to write -2. So my rise is 1. So let's just plug this in, right? Rise is 1. And my run is -2. And so my slope, which we're going to call m, is -1/2. Or -0.5 if you wanted to write it as a decimal. But now let's go back to this idea we said where it's a change in y over the change in x. And so look at these points we have. We started at this 0, -2 at that point, and then we went to -2, -1. And just keep in mind that each point has an x and a y value. So this is an x value, and that's a y value. This 0 is an x value, and that -2 is a y value. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to pick one point, it doesn't matter which one, we'll call that point 1. That's our starting point. And since we started here, we'll just say that's my starting point. And so that's x1 and y1. And it could be either, it doesn't matter. But if that's x1, it has to be y1 that matches with it. So we'll call our other one point 2, and so we'll call this x2, y2. And so notice what happens here if we look at our equation. I can think of my change in y as the difference in my y values, and difference just means subtract. So y2 minus y1. And I can think of my change in x as just my difference in my x values. So just be careful. If we do y2 minus y1, we have to do x2 minus x1. I can't then do x1 minus x2. I can't flip them. That's the number one mistake students will make when doing this, is flipping them. So now I'm just going to go and look, and my y2 value was this -1. So I'll plug that in, -1 minus. My y1 value was this -2. So minus and -2, and I'm going to be careful there and use parentheses because I have the minus and negative. And then in my x values, my x2 was this -2 minus. My x1 was 0, so that's pretty easy. 0 is always nice and easy to work with. So now watch what happens when I do this. So -1 minus a -2. So that's the same as saying +2. So -1 plus 2 is 1. And -2 minus 0, well, minus 0 doesn't change anything. We don't have to worry about that. So we just have -2. So notice we get -1/2, which is exactly what we had here. So there's two ways that we can find slope. One is by just graphing it, by looking at the points and saying how much do we have to go up from one point, and then how much do we have to go over to the other point. All right, a couple other things just to take away quickly. One is this. Notice that our line is going up towards the left, right? As we go up, imagine you're walking on this. If you walk up, you're going to the left. And if we go up to the left, so think up to the left, you'll have a negative slope, which is exactly what we have. We have -1/2, okay? If you go up to the right, anything that goes up to the right, and sorry for that handwriting, is a positive slope. So the easiest way to think about it is just, if you're going up to the right, it has to be positive. If it's going up to the left, it has to be negative. And so that's kind of a way for you to check to see if maybe you made a computational error. Okay, the other thing is just a quick revisit of what I said before, which was you can pick any 2 points on the line you want. So let's do this. Let's start at the same point, which is 0, -2. But let's go all the way over here now to this -4, 0. Okay? So to go from there to there, and I can go up first, left, it doesn't matter. Let's say I'm going to start over here and I want to get let's say I'm going to start here and go here. I could go down that way, and then I could go over. Now notice I'm going to go down from 0 to -2. So I'm going down 2, and it's -2, right? Because I'm going down. Then I'm going to go to the right, and I'm going to the right from -4 to 0, so I'm going to the right 4. And since I'm going to the right, that's positive. So now notice if we calculate our slope, m equals up or down, where my rise is -2, my run is 4, but that still reduces to -1/2, which was exactly the same as we got originally. So you can pick any point on the line that you want, and you're gonna get the same slope. It does not matter which two points you pick, okay? So, same thing, let's do this. So let's find the slope of the line that connects these 2 points. So what I recommend you do right now is pause the video, give it a shot, see what you get, and then start it again and see if you get the same thing, okay? So they gave us the 2 points, I put them on this graph here, and so again, we're dealing with a line here, so I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna connect them, just to get an idea of what our line's gonna look like. And the easiest way to do this is just to graph and think, how much do I have to go up? How much do I have to go over? So to get from that point to the other one, I'm gonna go up from here to here, right? And so I'm going from 0 all the way up to 9, so that means I'm going up 9, and I'll leave it positive because I'm going up. But then I have to go over. I'm going over from -2 to 4, so notice this is 2 right here, right? To go from -2 to 0 is 2, and I'm going another 4, so this total run is 6. And again, I'm going right, so that's positive, so I leave that. So my slope is m. My rise, how much do I go up or down over my run? How much do I go left or right? And I went up 9 over 6. And I can reduce that to 3 over 2. And notice we said on the last slide, if we're going up to the right, it should be a positive slope, and that's exactly what we have. We have a positive slope here. All right, so now let's use that equation that we used on the last one to do it again and see if we get 3 over 2. So we said that slope is the change in y, which we can write as the second y value minus the first y value, over the run, which is the change in x, which is my second x value, or the x value of my second point, minus the x value of my first point. So let's plug these in and see what we get. All right, so the first thing we're going to go up is just label them. It doesn't matter which one's point 1 and which one's point 2. Let's call this point 1. So that means this is my x1 and my y1, and then that would be x2 and y2. So let's plug in what we get. y2 is 0, minus y1, which is 9, and x2 is -2, minus x1 is 4. So now if I do that, 0 minus 9 is -9, and -2 minus 4, you can think of it just combining two negatives, or you can think is plus -4. Either way, you get -6. And 9 over 6 reduces to 3 over 2, and negative divided by negative is a positive, and sure enough, we get the same. So our slope is 3 over 2. That's our rise over our run. We found it by graphing. Then we found it by using this formula right here. But either way, you're going to get the same answer. So if you're stuck on the formula, you can always graph the points, find the slope, and then maybe go back to the equation and see if you can get the same thing.